live from the red carpet. I am Alex Weaver, joined by Kim Coon, and one of our favorite nights of the year, we get to induct 3 more legends into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It's time for the 2024 NASCAR Hall of Fame class to be properly inducted.
Not only do the 3 get inducted, we also are honoring the Landmark Award winner as well as the Squire Hall Award winner tonight.
Well, the red carpet is getting ready for the 3 legends that are going to be honored here tonight: Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, and Donnie Allison. But I will say you can tell this is a very popular class going into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Fans are packed out here on Glory Road.
Yes, I wish you could see our view. There are fans lining the red carpet. They're all along Glory Road. Not only will we see the 3 inductees here on the red carpet tonight, but it is going to be star-studded. We have a lot of legends coming through.
And something that is special is that obviously they will have a display that is properly displayed in the NASCAR Hall of Fame that has memorabilia, items that they get to select from their career that's special for them. But we don't know what those are yet.
I know. I got to talk with Jimmie Johnson earlier this week, and he kind of hinted at it might give a nod to his early career. I'm talking when he was a child. Remember, he started on 2 wheels racing motorcycles, so always a good surprise for the fans. After the friends and family get to see the displays for the inductees in the Hall of Honors, it will be open to fans here at the Hall.
It's something super special for NASCAR fans, and we're not only going to talk to the 3 legends here tonight, but we have classes dating back to 2010 from the very first Hall of Fame class. We're going to have all the legends here on the red carpet. So what's the most exciting part about tonight for you?
I just love hearing the stories and the storytelling. For all of the past inductees, it kind of brings up all the feelings they felt on their night. A lot easier for them, though. They'll tell you, they'll say, I'm glad I'm here just watching because it's nerve-wracking. You know, each inductee gives a speech, and so I like to kind of gauge, are we going to get some tears from them? Please. Are we going to get laughs? I love asking the inductees kind of what their emotion is, and are we going to see any tears shed during the speeches?
Yeah, Kim and I have had the opportunity to talk to the induction class here for tonight, and Jimmie said it in the best way possible. He said that this obviously stacks up as the highest honor in his career. Now, he has 7 Cup Series championships, and this is a moment that he's going to celebrate with his family, with Rick Hendrick, with everybody that has helped boost his career and make his career what it is. But he's fittingly going in, the dynamic duo is going in together, his crew chief of Chad Knaus.
Yes, and it's interesting in hearing Jimmie talk about being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He said he had no doubt he was going to be inducted and be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He said he got a little nervous when Chad's name was added to the list, just really hoping that Chad was also going to be part of this class. He felt like it would be apropos to be inducted together, and rightfully so. They won 7 championships together.
So that is Jimmie and Chad, and then Kim, you had the opportunity to talk to Donnie Allison, who had some great stories already.
Yes, so many good stories from Donnie Allison. He is an absolute treasure to NASCAR, and he's got stories we've never heard before, and I think fans' most memorable moment for Donnie Allison is his role in that fight after the 1979 Daytona 500. I'm hoping he mentions that in his speech tonight.
We have to get him to mention it. Kim sent us text messages before telling us the story, and we're going to make sure we hit on that. But we, speaking of those other classes, the first one up here on the red carpet is from the class of 2021. Dale Earnhardt Jr., and special for him, he's such a historian of the sport. This night is, I have to say, probably one of his favorites.
He geeks out a little bit, so I'm excited to talk to him, and he was teammates with Jimmie Johnson, so I love the reflection he's going to have on what it means to see his former teammate being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Let's welcome them here to the red carpet. He is joined by his wife, Amy Earnhardt, who looks beautiful as always.
Hi.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., class of 2021. We talked about how special this night was for you just because you are such a historian and a history buff of this sport. But all week long, you get to hear stories and see these guys. What does this week mean for Hall of Fame inductees?
Oh, man, that's a lot. So for me, you're right. It is very, very cool to come to we had the jacket ceremony last night and the ceremony this evening, and you get to see your heroes. You get to talk to amazing people that have made a massive impact in the sport. And we get to see new inductees go through the process and be overwhelmed by all the celebration and how they're, Steve Phelps said the other night, he's like, we're celebrating you. This is about you, so just sit back and enjoy it. And it's a great deal. It's a lot of fun. One of the most important nights for the sport, and I'm looking forward to the ceremony. I've been coming to this for a while, and it's something that me and Amy get to enjoy together, which is great. I love that we get to come as a couple and enjoy what's going to happen here.
A nice little date night.
The girls are at home. Amy, I want to put you in the hot seat, though, because when I was talking with Jimmie Johnson, he talked about his unsung hero was Chandra, his wife. And this isn't only about honoring the actual inductees. It's very much a family sport. These legends couldn't do it without their spouses, their children, the support of family. So thinking back to 2021, what was it like to be a family member watching Dale get inducted?
It was fun. His is his ultimate goal. So having the girls here and being able to celebrate that with him, and having all of our family and everybody that's worked with him around, and hearing the stories that impacted the whole thing, right, was just magical. And I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. So it was wonderful for all of us.
And the jacket and the Hall of Fame doesn't change your inductees. Dale Jr.'s been doing a honey to-do list and all kinds of housework. Hall of Famers, they're like everybody else. I saw you crawling up in a ceiling vent.
Yeah. Well, the off season is such a great opportunity to fix a lot of things, and I keep lists on my phone of things that I want to get right in the house, and we go through some decluttering, and I took some Xboxes over to the GameStop to turn in, and just trying to make some space. All the cabinets fill up.
To clarify,
throughout
he
the
makes
year.
his own honey-do list, and when he disappears, I'm like, where is he now?
Yeah. But the closet, the cabinets fill up, and then in off season, you got to get rid of all the stuff you're not messing with. But it's been a great off season. But I'm ready to get back to work.
A man of many talents. Let's talk about the inductees for this class of 2024. Donnie Allison, Jimmie Johnson, and Chad Knaus. You had the pleasure of working with both Jimmie and Chad, being over at Hendrick. What does this class add to the Hall of Fame that maybe is missing?
Wow, there ain't many 7-time champions. And Chad may be one of the greatest crew chiefs ever. We were talking about this, meeting with Donnie's family downstairs. When I was 15 years old, I worked with Donnie's sons building Legends cars, and they taught me quite a bit when I was just kind of getting started with my own driving career. And so, it's a neat connection to each family and each individual for me. It's been great to watch Rick Hendrick watch two people go into the Hall of Fame that he had a big influence on. So it's got to be a proud moment for Hendrick Motorsports.
We're going to let you both go and enjoy the night. Thank you.
You guys look wonderful.
Great to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we mentioned the three legends. We talked about this class, and we are going to speak to the very first one that's hitting the red carpet, Chad Knaus, a 7-time Cup Series championship crew chief.
Some loud cheers coming in for Chad. His family's here, his wife, Brooke, his son, Kip, and his daughter, Vivian. You guys look amazing.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It's a pretty exciting night for sure.
How does this night officially feel? Now that you're here, you see the red carpet, we have the family all dressed up. What is this night going to mean for you tonight?
I don't know. It's too early to tell. How's that? But it's a true honor to be here, obviously. It's been a joyous week. We've been able to celebrate in a lot of different levels at doing different events. And I'm looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to be up there with Donnie and Jimmie. And we'll just go through it, and we'll see how it goes. We got a couple of speeches, and we got a couple on-stage appearances, which I think are going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Well, this really is a family affair. So, Brooke, I want to ask you, what's this week been like for you guys as a family?
Oh, it's been so special to celebrate Chad, and I know Chad, trophies and awards mean a lot to him, of course, but the most important thing is family. And getting to do this as a family has just been the most amazing part of it all.
I heard Kip might have some special honors tonight if he's well behaved, yes?
You going to have fun tonight, buddy?
Have fun?
Yeah. Say yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Obviously fitting, we've talked about it, you and Jimmie Johnson going in the same class. What does it mean to share this experience with him tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty special, honestly. Being able to work through this with Jimmie over the course of the last week or so has been a lot of fun. And we said when we were done racing together that we were going to do many, many more adventures, and we've been able to do that. He was racing in the Indianapolis 500. I was there with him. We were able to go race Le Mans. Now we're going into the Hall of Fame together. So who knows what's next? I don't think our adventures are over yet.
A very big year for Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chad, you obviously enter the Hall of Fame as a Hall of Fame crew chief. Why is it important that we recognize crew chiefs and engine builders and other folks besides the guys behind the wheel?
Yeah, I think that that's critical because there's so many elements to this industry that are more than just the pilots of the race cars. We've got foundational folks like Smokey Unick, Waddell Wilson, the guys and the gals, the Woods, all those people that built the cars and the machinery that set the structure for these drivers to be able to do what it is that they do. So I think it's important. It's an honor to be one of only a handful of crew chiefs that have been in here to this point, but there's a lot more great ones that are going to be coming in soon, I feel.
Finally, before we let you guys go in and celebrate, when does the speech, what are the emotions going to be like? Have we practiced? What's the speech going to be for tonight?
I'm excited about it. I really am. It's hard to condense everything that you want to say in just a few minutes. So mine's more than a few. I was actually practicing at home with Kipling, and he looked at me and said, "Dad, that's really good, but it's a little long." And I was like, well, okay, if he thinks it's long, I'm in big trouble. But it's going to be fun. Obviously, there's going to be a thrush of emotions, and hopefully I can get through it reasonably well. And then, we'll move on and we'll continue to celebrate.
Congratulations. Enjoy the evening. You guys look wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Good to see you. You look beautiful.
Love that it's a family affair.
Love that it is a family affair. It's always nice for us to see kids whenever we get the chance to talk to them. I think Kip wanted our microphones.
Yeah,
which
Kip
I'll
wanted
probably
the
give them to him.
microphone, and then a little teaser of who's coming up.
Yes.
7-time champion Jimmie Johnson, and you saw Vivian get excited because Jimmie's here with his daughters.
He is, yeah. We have the whole family out for the Johnson family, and a special night that he is being inducted with his crew chief. We're going to be joined by the whole family now, which...
Hi.
Vivian and Lydia, you guys need to stop growing. You are getting
you guys look
so
amazing.
Beautiful. First and foremost, welcome to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Congratulations. And what's tonight going to entail for you? What does tonight look like?
Just soaking it in. I have this beautiful blue jacket that says Hall of Fame on it. Going in with my buddy Chad. This is a moment to celebrate with my family, friends, and everybody that helped me get to this point. So it's just really neat.
I talked to Jimmie earlier in the weekend. He told me his unsung hero for his career and the success he's found was you, Shani. So what has this week been like for you and getting to honor Jimmie as a family?
Well, I love that NASCAR really includes families in these celebrations. For us, it's just been neat to reflect on an incredible career, and it's so great to share this with our girls, and it's so special, truly.
We talk about the speeches, and obviously we know that your family will be honored in that, and you'll have a piece of everybody that's touched your career and had an impact in your career. But have we practiced the speeches on the girls? What does the speech prep look like for tonight?
It went well. We spent a fair amount of time in the theater today kind of working through it all, and I think we know where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to say, and as long as none of us succumb to the pressure, including myself, it's a big room with a lot of people, it'll go great.
Lydia, it sounded okay?
Yeah, it was okay. I'm still a little nervous.
Evie, what about you?
Well, I have a backup speech if my mother can't do it. So
love that. Love that.
She insists that she will do it. So
I love it. You guys are all going to be great.
We have seen the fans turn out for you and Chad and Donnie tonight, but what have the fans meant that have followed the 48 and followed you throughout your whole career, and even following Legacy Motor Club? They are still fans of your racing team because of you and your career. What have the fans meant to you throughout your career?
They've meant a lot. They are so passionate. They make this sport what it is. They give us a chance. They've given me a chance to chase my dream and become a race car driver. So a massive thank you to everyone, even the ones that booed me along the way. I'm just happy you were in the stands. You were there supporting this great sport.
It's been a busy week. It's not just about tonight. You've had multiple things throughout the week, including the jacket ceremony and dinner. And we hear year after year, it's a lot of storytelling, a lot of camaraderie. Any big surprises or maybe stories you hadn't heard before from other legends?
Yeah, certainly stories. I would say the takeaway for me was just how relaxed the room was. I'm able to see a lot of those Hall of Famers at different points, but we're at the track and it's busy. And last night, everybody sat at their tables, relaxed, conversations started, and there was just a different level of confidence and comfortableness that was there that was really neat.
And I have to ask you, just being a team owner and everything that you have done for the sport, now seeing the future of the sport, we honor legends here tonight, but a lot of these legends still touch the sport in some aspect. How do you feel about the future of the sport?
I feel our sport's at a very, very bright future. From young talent that's in the sport on the driving side, there's a lot of newfound interest on the ownership side and young owners coming into play. Our sport's very popular. New sponsors are coming in. I think we're in a really good place.
And your racing schedule continues to build. We know you're going to be running some races in 2024. how much does that excite you that you still have an opportunity to add to the win column? Like, we didn't stand here and talk about your win number. We talked about your championship number because you could certainly add to that.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get back in the race car. I think it'd be a bit of a stretch to think I'm a favorite to win races in the 9 that I'm running, but I'm certainly going to give it everything that I can. We have a great relationship with Toyota. We're going to have very fast cars. I'm going to tracks that I know and love. So it should be a good performance for us for sure.
Well, thank you guys for joining us here on the red carpet. Congratulations. Enjoy it as a family. One of the greatest of all time, Jimmie Johnson, 7-time champion in the NASCAR Cup Series. And here is what got Jimmie inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Jimmie Johnson's racing career is nothing short of extraordinary. Over the course of 2 decades, he showcased his exceptional skills and etched his name in the record books. Hendrick Motorsports star and future Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon saw something in a relatively unknown driver from El Cajon and convinced Rick Hendrick to give him a shot. It took just 13 races for Jimmie Johnson, with his new secret weapon, crew chief Chad Knaus, to find victory lane on April 28, 2002 at Fontana.
Guess we hired the right guys. Looks that way.
And the rest, as they say, is history. Johnson has 83 wins, tied with Cale Yarborough for 6th on the all-time list, 36 poles, 228 top 5 finishes, and scored not 1, but 2 Daytona 500 victories. Jimmie Johnson's career reached legendary status with 7 championships, placing him alongside NASCAR royalty, Richard Petty, and Dale Earnhardt.
Jimmie Johnson is going to be the 2006 NASCAR champion.
But it's his record of 5 consecutive championships from 2006 to 2010 that truly sets him apart.
5-time champion.
History, boys. No one ever
Beyond the numbers, Jimmie Johnson's impact on the sport transcends his accomplishments on the track. He exemplified professionalism, sportsmanship, and philanthropy, leaving an indelible mark on the racing community.
We're now joined by Jeff Gordon, Hall of Famer class of 2019. You have a few years on the inductees of this year, but the likes of Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, you've worked for so long with both of them. What an honor is it for you to see them get inducted and join you in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, the Hall of Fame night is always a special night, but tonight's extra special for me just because how close I've been to the journey that Chad and Jimmie have taken together, being a small part of seeing them come to Hendrick Motorsports and then competing against them, you know, and knowing that, you know, I was competing against the greats of all time and you know, what they accomplished and raising the bar for all of us as competitors, but internally at Hendrick, for me too, I had to raise my game because of Jimmie's fitness level and his attention to detail as well as Chad. So, yeah, this is special. And for what Rick Hendrick and Hendrick Motorsports has meant to the Hall of Fame and to this sport, you know, to add, you know, continue to add people that have been through Hendrick Motorsports and have helped grow the sport, help grow our company. And, you know, it's great to see 2 new great additions.
You had such a successful year and less than literally all your whole entire career. You've had so many wins, a 4-time Cup Series champion. But what does tonight mean for a guy who has reached the pinnacle of the sport, knows what the success feels like? What does the honor of tonight feel like?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, tonight, like each season, it's about winning races, about winning the championship. And then the next season, you go try to do that again. Tonight, when you're being inducted, it's about your body of work from the beginning to the end. You didn't get here, you didn't get to NASCAR, have the success in NASCAR without racing something at a very young age, your parents getting you involved, people helping you and supporting you along the way. And so tonight you get to hopefully thank all those people as much as you can because there's a long list, but just recap the memories and just take a step back of how you got here. And that's why there's usually, at least for me, I'm always tearing up, but, you know, it's emotional for everybody, especially the families, you know, that get to see that highlighted on the big stage tonight.
You mentioned the thank yous. The inductees give a speech. I know when you were inducted in 2019, you were nervous about your speech, about the emotion that would come up. So what kind of advice did you give this year's inductees maybe as they work through their speech?
Don't cry.
No, listen, I
love the emotion.
Me too.
I just wish I didn't do it as much as I did it, but I'm all for it, especially in this moment. I think it calls for it. I mean, my kids are there, and Rick Kendrick, and my parents. I mean, all the people that, contributed to my getting into the Hall of Fame. But no, I think, it has to come from the heart. And however that makes you, feel emotionally, then this is the time, to show it. And but you got to keep your composure too, because it's a long, speech that you're going to get. No, I think it's just try to savor and enjoy the moment as much as you can, because it goes by fast.
We know the special relationship you have with this class, so take some tissues in there. I'm just going to warn you.
I feel like we're going to hear your name.
No,
I think we're going to hear your name more than once.
Well, I'm looking forward, to interacting with them, and just I'm so proud of them. They're so well deserved, so it's great.
As we look at what Hendrick has accomplished in all of their years, you're an integral part of that, both behind the wheel when you raced and now behind the scenes. What's the future of Hendrick Motorsports?
Well, I mean, Rick has been doubling down on just how important Hendrick Motorsports is, how important Hendrick Automotive Group is, that connection, and the legacy that has been put in place to continue on for many years to come at Hendrick Motorsports. So, it really inspires all of us. He put us in a position in a great company with great people, and we get to have the best time doing it. And so we all strive to just continue to keep that legacy going and make him proud. And I love where we're at as an organization, and what our contribution to the sport is, and I hope to see that happen and be a part of it for a long time to come.
I think you guys have a few more Hall of Famers in the future that you're going to be contributing.
Hope so.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Go have some fun tonight.
Thank you.
Always
Enjoy.
a pleasure. We are going to continue the red carpet here, and now we're going to be joined by two members of the NASCAR Hall of Fame from 2010, the very first class, Richard Petty, and then we will also have from 2021, Dale Inman.
Hello,
Come on in.
Happy to have you guys.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah.
Doing great. Ready for everything.
We always love when you guys show back up here and we get to celebrate you all over again. But what does this week mean for your past inductees to come together and all see each other for another time?
Well, it's great. We're starting to celebrate the Petty 75th anniversary, being in racing all this year. So we get to come back and see some of the guys we raced with way back. And so anytime you come to the Hall of Fame, you don't get to see these people. Everybody's doing their own little business. You come to the Hall of Fame, a bunch of them was enemies on the racetrack, but they're friends off the racetrack.
Well, Dale, you really define the role of crew chief. How happy were you to see Chad Knaus, his name, being inducted into the class of 2024?
Well, when his name come up, there was no question about it, getting in the first round and everything. And, it's great. Him and Jimmie, what they did together, 5 in a row, that's unheard of. Yeah, and I don't know where it'll ever be topped again or not, you know what I mean? But it's not on account of the work that the crew chiefs put out. It's because of the system that's changed, and everything has changed in racing. But there's still a lot of people out there that will deserve to get in. But Chad certainly deserved it.
Well, Dale, you got inducted in 2012, and I know you went in the first inaugural class of 2010. Were you nervous when his name was up to be inducted? How did that make you feel, knowing that your buddy over there needed to get into the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Well, really, they was putting in drivers. So he was the first non-driver to go in, but he won 8 championships. So, no matter how many races and stuff that some of the drivers have won, he's accomplished more than what they did as far as that part. So it was great to see somebody beside a driver go in. And, we've been real fortunate that the whole Petty crew is in. My dad was in, my brother's in, my cousin's in, and I'm in. So we're probably the only people who's got the whole team in the Hall of Fame.
Looking back to 2021 when you were inducted, what was your favorite part of the festivities, looking at the week that led up to the induction? You got your jacket, the ring, then the induction ceremony. Was there a highlight for you?
What year did you say?
2021?
2012.
2012.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, 2012.
You're trying to fool me.
I'm trying to fool you, yeah.
Okay.
I have dyslexia.
It was great. It was a hectic week. You know, I'm not real good in front of cameras and microphones and all that, but it was good having my family there. I'm repeating myself, but it was quite an honor, and it still is. You know, and everywhere I go, I'm kind of recognized as being in the Hall of Fame and first crew chief to go in, and being here and seeing all these people tonight is great. The people that's got in front of us and behind us, and it's like being at the racetrack.
Well, Dale and Richard, we love seeing you guys every single year. Thank you so much for what you've done for the sport.
Yes.
And go have some fun
Enjoy
tonight.
it.
Thank
We hope
you.
so. Hope the food's good.
All right, next up on the red carpet here from the class of 2018.
Come on in.
We have Ray Evernham. Hello, welcome back.
Come on in. You look
Hello.
beautiful.
You guys look clean up very nice. We always love when you get to put the blue jacket on, don't you?
I do, and this is something we really look forward to once a year. And every time we come here, it just lets you know what a special feeling it is, and an honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
As you look at this year's class, what do you feel like they add to the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
Well, when there's only 3 7-time champions, right? And one of them was just right here in front of us, and Dale Earnhardt, the other one. But what Jimmie Johnson and Chad Knaus, people at Hendrick Motorsports, accomplished and the way they did it, really, really amazing. Not surprised at all. Both, first round in, and the commitment, we were in awe a little bit of all of the people from Hendrick Motorsports that have been through, and that says an awful lot about Rick Hendrick and his vision and his management.
Well, I have to say, you obviously being a historical crew chief in this sport, what's it like for crew chiefs to be recognized in the sport? And a guy like Chad Knaus, who has done so much for the sport, continues to have a place in the sport and make the sport better. The crew chiefs need a nod too, right?
It's great to see them recognized, and crew chiefs, engine builders, and really, it takes a big team, and it's like any other sport, whether that's football or baseball, basketball. The crew chief's kind of the coach, right? But the players get the job done. You got to have the star players, and when you're a coach and you're lucky enough to get a star player, and you end up at places like this, it's pretty cool.
Did you have a favorite moment of your induction year?
Oh wow! Honestly,
I should actually probably ask Aaron.
When they call your name and that music plays and you go up on that stage and you look out and those lights are on and you realize everyone is sitting there, and it's really incredibly emotional. I have seen the strongest, toughest men in the sport go to tears on that stage, and as soon as it happens to you, you understand why.
Aaron, this is such a fun night for families, too, because we get to not only see you guys, but you are honoring one of the most important members of your family. What's this night like to just watch Ray get inducted in the Hall of Fame when he did for his class? And you get to come back every single year. We love seeing you, too.
I mean, honestly, I grew up a race fan with my family, so sometimes for me it's still, I'm a super fan just watching. But I just had memories pop up on my time hop. Our daughter was, I think, 3 when Ray got inducted, and she walked the red carpet with us. And it was just such an emotional time to see him recognized for all his accomplishments. And it's just always great to be here and to be with all the greats of our sport and to see them go into such a wonderful place as the Hall of Fame.
What are you most looking forward to seeing in the Hall of Honors? You got to put together kind of your display. Now thinking ahead to what are Jimmie and Jeff going to include in their Hall of Honors? What are you maybe hoping, memorabilia-wise, you see in there?
Oh, wow. I want to see some of Chad's history, and some of Jimmie's early history. Them both from the modern time.
Yeah.
But I want to see where they came from. Obviously Jimmie's probably got some motorcycle stuff and his early off-road stuff. But I want to see Chad. You don't know a lot about Chad before he came to Hendrick Motorsports. And I want to see Donnie Allison stuff. It's really cool. Alabama gang. Donnie was telling us stories downstairs. I'm excited. And I guess we probably ought to get rolling because the guy that's the most famous guy here, more famous than Elvis, has been pushing us along. He's waving me to get out of his way. And I know that if you don't get out of this guy's way, he will spin you out.
Oh, come on in. We've got Ron Hornaday Jr., Ray, Aaron. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you both so much. You guys look great. Nice to see you.
Come on down.
Oh,
Class of 2018, Ron Hornaday Jr.
How are
you?
How are you? I'm wonderful. It's going to be exciting to see Jimmie and long-winded Chad Knaus.
You called it. You called it.
He did say that in his interview. Well, they told you were going to bypass us. They're just so used to you passing people and pushing people out
on
of the way.
track.
Pushing people. So I had a run-in with Terry's son a long, long time ago, and I've always been afraid to see Terry face to face. The last couple of years being in the Hall of Fame, you have to do that. So Winston asked me about the roughness of the driving now in the Truck Series. And here I'm sitting next to Terry, and I got to confess. So, yeah, it was a busy day this morning. So
I like the hat with the addition to the jacket. You're not typically a jacket guy. How often are you pulling this out just to look at it in the mirror and remind yourself you're a NASCAR Hall of Famer?
You don't really notice it until you see the hanger and your name's engraved on the hanger. You say, wow, that's pretty cool. And then you pull it out and see the Hall of Fame. This is the only time you'll ever see me wear it. This is really special to come see all the fans and all the people here and just look back at my career and everybody's career and the people that you look up to. It's pretty unbelievable.
Well, Ron, we appreciate you joining us. You go have some fun. Enjoy it tonight. Good to see you.
Oh, yes.
All right, so we are going to be joined. I hear next we have the Labonte brothers. So it's interesting for us, too, because we don't see these guys every single weekend like we see the active drivers at the racetrack.
They pop up here and there.
Exactly. They'll show up every once in a while, but to see them in their blue jackets with their rings on is always such a special, special night.
I love that we're getting Terry and Bobby together, too.
I hope they have some jokes on each other because because
I don't know that we've interviewed them together on the red carpet.
I don't know if we have either. Let's make sure that I have their Hall of Fame induction
class.
years right. All right, so the class of 2016, Terry Labonte, and the class of 2000.
Hey, Texas Terry
is Bobby Labonte. We're hoping to have both the brothers up here.
I know.
So
We thought you guys would maybe rib each other.
My brother he's always late for everything, so I got to fill in for him right now.
Well, Kim and I were just talking about how much we love seeing the legends come back, and you guys get to spend weeks together and be in rooms together and hear stories. How special is this week for you that have already been inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, well, it's really neat. It's really cool to come back here every year. It's kind of one of my favorite events, actually, that we do, I think, and to see a lot of the old guys that, are in the Hall of Fame. And, when I was growing up, a lot of these guys that are in it were my heroes. And so it's really nice to see them and catch up with them and things like that. And here, my brother has showed up. So, yeah. But, so it's an exciting weekend, though.
He said you were always late.
Yeah. Rib each other. What's your response to that?
About what, being
that
late?
You're always late.
Yeah, he said you're always late.
Yeah, that's no. Well, I wanted to make sure you had plenty of you time before I got here. Okay. So I'm not really late. I was just being courteous.
Courteous. I like it. Yeah. For you, getting to kind of relive your night being inducted to the Hall of Fame, what do you remember about that night?
Yeah, obviously, it was for Waddell Wilson, Tony Stewart, myself, Coach Gibbs. I mean, to go in 2020, especially the three of us for the Gibbs, and that was so special. And, it's like, man, that was like pressure packed. When you come back now, it's a lot more fun because you don't have to worry about doing all that stuff. But for me, it was just great. I mean, obviously, like Terry said, I think I heard him say when I walked up, didn't we agree? This is the most fun event that we go to all year. I mean, and so we get to see other people and stuff like that. And so that night, especially for me, it reflected back on a lot of things throughout my career. You know what I mean? It's like, they started asking questions for so much stuff, and I'm like, God, I forgot I did that, So that it reflects back on everything, and that's what I really enjoyed about that night especially.
And Terry, I feel like this is even a dumb question to be asking, but this class right here for 2024, did they get it right? Did the voters get it right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It'll never happen again, I don't think. That's two guys, Jimmie and Chad will win 5 championships in a row and 7 overall. I don't think that'll ever be matched. It's incredible. The incredible career that they had together was amazing. And then Donnie Allison, I mean, he was one of my heroes growing up. And, I mean, he's a cool guy, and part of the Alabama gang. And I was really happy to see him get in also. So,
for you, Bobby, what do you feel like this class adds to the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, obviously, like Terry said, with Donnie Allison, I'll start with him. I think I got his autograph when I was a young punk hanging out, and somewhere down the road. And always watched and loved watching those guys race short tracks and stuff like that, the whole Alabama gang. And so to see him get that honor, I think was really cool. And I remember the cars that he drove, throughout his career. Most of them anyway, and so I think it's really, really great. And then I think about Chad and Jimmie. I'm not quite as happy because they beat me a lot.
Okay.
So I'm
They
like,
did
oh,
beat
darn,
you. Yeah, a couple of times they did, yeah.
there's a couple Coke 600 or one Coke 600 I was not happy about, right? But
Race car drivers never forget
They never
a thing.
forget. Did you get to remind them? You guys have a dinner and stuff and do some stuff together throughout the week?
we just kind of they ribbed me more than I ribbed them. But I mean, like kind of like what Terry said. I mean, it really is cool to see those guys get in here, and you know, they're again, it's going to be tonight's going to be for them and their families to see and to tell what they've done and to show what they've done. And like, there's no way I don't think that will be repeated in history. So they've made a lot of marks, and they get to honor. They're honored tonight for that, and it really is cool to see because you can't find any better human beings than them. They're just so nice, so good people.
This is the first time Kim and I have gotten both the Labonte brothers on the red carpet together. We need to keep
Love
this
it.
a tradition every year. You guys,
Good by you?
enjoy
if you
the
invite
night.
him, I'll show up a little bit late.
There you go.
Yeah, stay on time, Bobby.
See ya.
Next up, one of the rising stars in our sport, Rajah Caruth.
Come on down.
Will you clean up nice?
We should say a big Jimmie Johnson fan.
Very big Jimmie Johnson fan. I'm sure everybody's seen on social media the Halloween picture of me at 8.
No?
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's pretty fun. I'll pull it up right now.
Pull it up. What is it? You're dressed as Jimmie?
As Jimmie Johnson in 2009. I was 7, just to make y'all feel old.
Oh.
What made Jimmie your hero, and why did you want to dress up as Halloween? Jimmie Johnson.
Well, it's kind of funny because for the longest, like, he had won a championship for like half the years I was alive, which is crazy. But no, I mean, the sportsman, he's been, on and off the racetrack, and obviously being a really good race car driver. But how he was on interviews with his team, and really as a person and along with his family, that's just, somebody I wanted to model myself after. So, no-brainer for me.
Here.
You're here, and maybe one day a Hall of Famer. I know fans were thrilled to see you
Wow.
race full-time in the NASCAR Truck Series in 2023. What can they expect from you in 2024?
The same. I can't say much more, but racing, this year, and excited to be back full-time.
Sounds like we're waiting for an announcement. Any?
Yeah, something soon. I'm staying with Chevy, that's for sure. But, yeah.
All right.
Walking into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and now that you have been racing and been around these legends for a little while in your career, when you walk in here and you see all the cars on Glory Road and you see the fans that are honoring these legends, what does it feel like to be here at a NASCAR Hall of Fame induction ceremony?
It's crazy because I read about these people in the history books, like seeing the Labontes, Dale Jarrett, the King, obviously JJ is really special. So it's just honestly a pinch me moment, and it's really motivating because, like you guys said, this is where I want to be one day. Hopefully a long time from now, but.
Did Jimmie get like the starstruck reaction from you? Like, has there been somebody that you have met growing up in the sport that you've been like, oh my God, I think I just met Jimmie Johnson, or what's your starstruck
Or do you
moment?
remember the first time you met Jimmie?
Honestly, it was crazy. He surprised me at our GMS announcement last year. I had no clue he was going to be there, and we walked in the little green room or whatever. There he was, and I was like, holy. I almost cussed, but I was like, that's Jimmie. So that was my first moment, and really he's been awesome to talk to give me advice for not just racing, but just how to be an athlete and in life. So,
Have you had the opportunity to walk through the Hall of Fame before?
So many times as a fan.
You have a favorite thing at the Hall of Fame?
Obviously, the iRacing rigs are pretty cool. Lightning McQueen's upstairs. That's cool as well. But it's always cool to see the cars they have on Glory Road because some of them I personally have in my diecast collection or I watched growing up, on TV. Not really the older stuff, but like 2005 and onwards. So as a whole, it's just awesome to be here and to have a place that shows the history of NASCAR.
All right, Rajah, we always love seeing you. We'll see you at the racetrack.
Can't wait to see you
far.
and what you can do in 2024.
Good to see you.
Enjoy.
Next up here on the red carpet from the class of 2014, we still hear his hot takes every single Sunday on NBC. Dale Jarrett, how are you?
I'm doing great. Kind of a tough act to follow right there, though. I see they put me behind Rajah. Yeah, he looks great. He speaks well. We know he drives great, so that's a tough act to follow, but glad to be here.
All of those things apply to you as well. So.
Yes. If you could describe this year's class of 2024, in one word, what would it be?
Correct.
Correct. I like it.
Good word.
It blends a little bit of everything about this sport. Someone that in Donnie Allison basically gave his heart and his soul and everything for so many years, just trying to make it. And I mean, he did anything and everything that he could, drove cars for teams and made the teams better and got finishes that those teams hadn't seen before. He was in the middle of big races, won big races, and so very deserving of that. And then, in my era of watching and being a part of the sport, the duo that's the most dominant that I've ever seen with Chad and Jimmie. And, I thought at first when we saw this, it would have been wrong to put them in the same class because I thought maybe Chad would have to take a back seat. But Jimmie's he's just the
class act.
Yeah, he's just so good of a person that he's made sure that everything that he's done that Chad was included too, which we came to expect from Jimmie. So to put them in together with everything that they accomplished, I think everybody got it right.
Well, DJ, you've had some experience putting on that ring and that blue jacket now. It's been a couple of years since you were inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to age you by any means, but what do you remember from your night being inducted into your class and what it felt like on that special evening?
I think the excitement of it is what I remember, and the people that mattered the most, everybody was there. From my family, my kids, my mom, my dad were able to be there, my brother, sister. And then as you look out there and you have the people that made it possible for me to even have this opportunity, and that was Robert Yates and his family, Doug and Carolyn and Richard, and then you look over and you see Todd Parrott, who was the hardest working person I ever worked with in my life, and made me go to the wind tunnel from midnight to 8 a.m. countless times, but I was glad that he did. But you see all of those people that were the ones that made the difference. So I went in thinking that I've got this, everything is great, I know my speech, and then I see my dad's banner up there, and that brings a little bit, and then I look out and see my kids and like Kelly's sitting there, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I'm going to get through this. But it's just a wonderful night, and it gives you a time during everything and getting prepared to reflect, because when you're in the middle of it and all this is happening, you don't take the time. You just don't do it. You wish you could, but if you do, unless it's your very last year of knowing that you're going to drive a car, you might start then. But if you do it any other time, then all of a sudden you find yourself behind. So it was a great time to reflect on what it took for me and everyone else to make this happen.
As a NASCAR Hall of Famer, you get to take part in a lot of cool events. Even this week, you hold a part in that, the jacket ceremony. What to you has been the highlight of being a NASCAR Hall of Famer? After you inducted, after you got through all the stress of that, what's been the highlight?
The highlight to me is a dinner that we had last night. After the three that are coming in, Donnie and Chad and Jimmie, they received their jackets last night. And then we go upstairs to the Ring of Honor, and we sit and have a dinner that only the people that are in the Hall of Fame and their families are there. And that there's nothing more special to me. I mean, that is such a room that you just look around and you start reflecting on everything that's happened to everybody as to why they're here and a part of it.
I think reflection is a great word for
this
night.
Word. Yeah. Dale, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great
Enjoy.
night.
You look sharp in your jacket.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to be joined by NASCAR Hall of Famer, class of 2013, Rusty Wallace.
Rusty, how are you?
Great, Kim. Awesome. I've always looked forward to tonight. It's such a cool deal. And last night we had the Hall of Fame dinner, which was really amazing.
That's what Dale just said.
Yeah,
apparently some stories swapped.
Well, we sat at the same table last night, and we don't find ourselves talking competition at all. And that's the one cool thing about that dinner. You talk about people, how's your life going? How's your golf game? What have you been doing? A lot of stuff like that. And the competition, all the high-intensity competition is gone. And I got to tell you, that feels really good. Just to calm down and not be at one another,
Well, we also talked to Dale, and I told him he's had a couple of years of putting on the jacket and putting on the ring and knowing what this night entails. But for you, when you get to come back and see new classes being inducted since you were inducted, how does that feel to know that the future of the sport is going to carry on and we're going to continue adding classes to the NASCAR Hall of Fame?
It really makes me feel well. Last night we were actually in this room, and we were all lined up, and the new inductees were getting their jackets, Donnie Allison and Chad Knaus and Jimmie, and those guys were so excited. I felt like I've been doing this for a long time, and they walked up and they felt like this is the first time they ever been in a race car. They were just and been recognized like they were last night. It was fun watching it because they were truly excited. They were hugging and kissing their families before they got their jacket put on, and you can tell it was really emotional that they'd done a lot of big things, but last night was really big, and tonight is going to be twice as big. When they finally get inducted.
Did you have any words of wisdom for them or anything that you shared with them about taking in tonight and what it means?
Well, I told them, I always tell the same story. I'll never forget when I got inducted in the Hall of Fame. I was leaving out through the loading dock back gate with Ned Jarrett. And Ned Jarrett just grabbed me by the arm and stopped me. He said, I just want to tell you one thing, kid. I said, what's that? He said, your life is going to change forever. I said, why? He said, people are going to start respecting you more. They're going to call you sir instead of Rusty. And they're going to start addressing you everywhere you go. It's like, hey, this is NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. It's not, hey, that's Rusty Wallace. He's in that NASCAR Hall of Fame. They do it the other way.
Well, we'll
and
continue.
They treat you really nice.
We'll continue to call you Rusty. No sir from
Yeah,
us, if that's okay.
That's okay. That's totally fine. Thank you very much. Hope you guys have a great night tonight.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thanks, Rusty.
So great for Rusty Wallace to join us. Always love seeing
Such a personality.
Such a personality always. Well, from the Drive for Diversity class this year and the 2023 Wendell Scott Trailblazer Award, we have Lanie Buice. Welcome to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the red carpet.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here.
How is it to be here for an event like tonight?
It's incredible. I've never been a part of anything like this, and I never would have thought I would have. So being a part of it tonight is huge, especially getting to watch these incredible people be inducted.
You're part of the 2024 D4D class, and I know you have really big aspirations, as you should. Who are the drivers you look up to that you're like, I would love to emulate my career after them?
Definitely Rajah. He's kind of in the mix of it right now. He's just gotten some big stuff coming for him. So it's really cool to see him and what he's doing for the sport is huge. And many others. I mean, Kyle Larson came from the program. He's in NASCAR Cup Series. As we all know, he's huge in the sport. And so that's something that I look forward to.
Well, Lanie, we love having you here, a female here on the red carpet. We always love seeing it. Good luck in your future career, and nice to have you at the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lanie.
All right, next up, we're going to continue with our former NASCAR Hall of Famers, and this one is the latest class, so he knows first and foremost what this night goes like.
Class of 2023.
Matt Kenseth, welcome back.
Thank you.
Does it feel like it's been a while, a whole year?
You know, I feel like this is a total old person quote, but, you know, the years go faster the older you get, and it's just like blink of an eye. It seems like it was just the other day. We were here last year celebrating getting in, so it went by quick.
When you heard the names of this year's class, Donnie, Jimmie, Chad, what was your first reaction?
Huge surprise. Like, I didn't think Jimmie and Chad would have got in on the first ballot, so I was really quite stunned.
I love that you've not lost your sense of humor.
Yeah, some things will never change.
That's why we love you.
He has tacked on to Legacy Motor Club to help the drivers and kind of be a little bit. I asked John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones, how many sarcastic text messages have you gotten from Matt Kenseth? And they were like, oh, quite a few.
No, not that many yet.
Not yet. Yet being the key word.
I'm just surprised that you're a texter.
Yeah, I text. You know, I've become a little more old school. So Jimmie started this thing.
Okay.
Maybe people don't know this, but he started this thing and he kind of stopped texting. He started leaving voice notes.
Oh.
But it's good and it's bad. You know, it's nice to hear his voice, and, you know, you can kind of tell people's emotions better and stuff, and that's all great. But then they disappear after a while, so I almost feel like I need to take notes because I don't have any evidence of what he said.
That's good and
That
bad.
is good. That
yeah.
is good.
The vocal tones of Jimmie Johnson.
I'm a texter, but I also call. Yeah.
Well, this time last year, it was all about you going into the Hall of Fame. But tonight, you get to sit back and have an outside seat and relax and not worry about what tonight means for you and your family. But what does it mean to watch and now know the other side of the fence, that you get to watch the future Hall of Famers go into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here before and watched other people get inducted. So this might be the only thing I ever beat Jimmie at, is I got in a year before him, probably just obviously because I stopped racing before he did. So yeah, that's a plus. I beat him at something.
The jacket, have you worn it since last year?
Just last night. Yeah, I don't wear it around the house or anything, or when I go to lunch.
I know sometimes you put it on just to remind yourself, like,
vacuum
I'm a NASCAR Hall of Famer, to
Yeah.
vacuum.
No, I took it out of the bag yesterday, and it was kind of dirty. I was like, maybe I should have got cleaned. I don't know. Still had everything in a pocket from last year, so no.
Okay.
I don't wear it around. Someday.
Knowing these class first and foremost and racing against Jimmie and Chad and knowing how competitive and how dominant they were, did they get it right? Is the class correct for 2024?
Yeah, I would say so. So, you know, I'll joke aside. I mean, I think a lot of Jimmie and Chad, especially, obviously, what they were able to do, it was neat to witness their dominance. Like, there's never been anybody better that have done the things that they did together. But it was also bad to have to race against that because he got the best of me way more than I ever got the best of him. So I probably would have had a lot more trophies if they would have came around at a different time. But honestly, great friends, and he's had so much success, and obviously there's nobody that's more deserving of being here than those guys.
Can you put the losses to bed, though, or are you the type of guy that remembers every race you lost to Jimmie?
I remember more losses than wins in a way. Like, as I got older and got away from racing, I started looking backwards a little bit and maybe enjoying some of the successes more. But certainly I was more miserable over mistakes or losses than I was happy about wins.
Well, Matt, it's always a pleasure to see you. I know it was this time last year, but you enjoy being on the other side.
Yeah,
today.
Relax and enjoy it.
All right,
yeah.
Matt Kenseth, class of 2023.
I feel like we learned a lot in that interview.
Always learn a lot from Matt Kenseth. I want to just see the sarcastic text, and now I want to see the voice memo, so we have to get that going. Well, we have
his wife Katie walking by, looking beautiful.
One inductee left to go here on the red carpet, Donnie Allison, and it's official. The gang is all here. The Alabama gang is. What was the quote that he gave to you yesterday in your interview?
Which one?
About the only state of Alabama.
The only state, yes. He did tell me they're the only state that's got all their gang members in the Hall of Fame. Leave it to Donnie to give us a liner like that.
Leave it to Donnie. Well, here is how Donnie Allison, his illustrious career, got him inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
One of the prize of Hueytown, Alabama, Donnie Allison has won the Firecracker 400.
Donnie Allison was a founding member of the legendary Alabama gang.
The Alabama gang are in control.
After dominant performances racing short tracks across the South, he earned the NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year award in 1967.
And that's it. Donnie Allison has won the 1-2 finish for the Allison brothers.
Allison is particularly proud that his first 3 career wins in Cup came with his brother Bobby in second.
I feel like Bobby probably was my toughest competitor ever.
Just as close as brothers could possibly be.
Allison's best career season was 1970. He won 3 Cup races and claimed 10 top 5 finishes in just 19 starts. Considered one of racing's greatest feats, Allison earned a 1970 Coca-Cola 600 win and a 4th place finish at the Indianapolis 500, just 6 days apart, earning the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year honor. Allison will forever be remembered for his role in the 1979 Daytona 500 and his near victory in that race.
Donnie Allison throws the block. Cale hits him. They're out of it. And there's a fight.
With 10 wins and nearly 50% top 10 finishes in all starts, Donnie's continuing contributions add to his enduring popularity.
We're now joined by NASCAR Hall of Famer Red Farmer. Happy to have you here. How much are you looking forward to this evening?
Well, I've been praying for this for 2 or 3 years to get Donnie in there. Finally, it finished to make the complete circle of the Alabama gang.
The full gang's here.
So the whole Alabama gang is in it now, so that's the only thing I could hope for.
We saw the pictures of the 3 of you guys being joined. Now that the whole gang is here and we have the whole Alabama gang inducted in the Hall of Fame, how special was last night to have all of you in a blue jacket?
Well, it's quite an honor to have it, and racing back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s through there, we had no idea that we would end up in the Hall of Fame, one of us, much less all 3 of us making it. And Donnie finally getting in on this deal now, and it's, like I say, it's complete circle now. The whole Alabama gang is in it, and I couldn't be prouder.
And let's bring him in.
They told me to butt in on Red.
Come on in.
This ain't the first time, Red, I butted in on you.
I was just about to ask Red what his favorite Donnie memory was. What's your favorite memory of Donnie?
Favorite what?
Favorite memory.
I don't know. There's so many of them. I mean, when we raced together for 30, 35 years, there was so many special times to come at. And I think, maybe one of the special things is we went to Bristol back in 61 for a 200-lap modified race, and we qualified 1, 2, 3. and that was a special deal.
Well, I'm going to officially welcome him into the red carpet, our final inductee for the class of 2024 in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Donnie Allison. We were just talking about the gang is all here, the only state of Alabama that's had their gang members. I heard that you told Kim that you were just very excited about walking into the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about it now that it's the night and it's official and we're going to celebrate you tonight?
Well, it's wearing in. It's not worn in yet, but this is the ultimate. How could you ask in your whole life for what you do to be rewarded any better?
And what do you think you add to the NASCAR Hall of Fame? What does Donnie Allison add to the Hall of Fame?
Well, really two things. I feel like, and Red and Bobby will attest, I was a pretty good race car driver. And then after that, I was a pretty good mentor for young people. I'm one of the very few guys that could say I helped at least 4 people that won Daytona or Talladega races.
And Donnie, just now that we have gotten to the week and tonight will be a very special memory, but what's been your favorite part of this week so far?
Holy mackerel. Just about everything. I guess what made me smile the most when I walked in tonight and all my family was there. I have a very large family, which the people will see after a while, but it was very, very nice that they're all here. They all look nice. They all cleaned up well, and I'm very proud.
Well, Donnie, you have to give a speech. So my question to Red is, did you give Donnie any tips on his speech?
Do what?
Did you give him any tips on his speech?
No.
No.
No, you're going to make us laugh or you're going to make us cry with your speech, Donnie?
No, he didn't give me any tips. If he did, I wouldn't listen to him.
Have you practiced the speech?
Oh, I've read it a few times. It's not very long. It's very to the point. I'm going to tell the people the way I feel, and that's it.
Red, did you have a hand in helping him select things that would go into the memory boards? Did you have a hand in helping him select all of his memorabilia that was going to go into the hall?
No, well, not really. It's kind of hard to explain when the three of us, of all of us, finally got into the Hall of Fame. It's just really it's hard to, you can't believe it at my age, that I was worried to death that I wasn't going to make it long enough for Donnie to get in. And now he's got in, now I can relax.
Donnie, that just means you took too long.
Well, I didn't do it.
You told me yesterday, finally.
I've been right here the whole time. And like I said, it's a great honor, and it's really a truly great honor because I'm going in with Bobby and Red.
As you look at the class, you, Jimmie Johnson, Chad Knaus, what do you think that you guys collectively add to the Hall of Fame?
Holy mackerel. You look at what the resumes of all three of us, them in the Cup and what they did, and me and everything I ran, modified Cup, Indy cars. I did have a pretty good career. I enjoyed every bit of it. Everybody asked me, how do I feel about I feel very good about what I did. And I raced that old coot right there. Started when I was a little kid, and raced him till we were old kids.
Still kids. You guys are still kids. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. You both go celebrate, have some fun tonight, and we look forward to hearing your speech.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, that does it for us here. I'm going to let them walk behind us. If you guys want to continue on the red carpet, Kim, a special night. It's official, 2024 NASCAR Hall of Fame class. We're about to induct some legends.
That was so much fun. I feel like we learned a lot. I feel like we got a little preview from some of the stories we're going to hear tonight during the ceremony. And don't forget, you can tune in live on Peacock, 8 p.m. Eastern, to check that Hall of Fame induction. And don't forget, we're here in the Great Hall. We're looking at Glory Road. If you're ever in Charlotte, make sure you visit the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Well, tonight, it's not the official kickoff of the season, but, man, we are getting close. Engines are starting to rev up, and the NASCAR Cup Series gets underway in the Busch Light Clash at the L.A. Coliseum. That's February 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern. February 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern. I got all my dates confused. We'll get it right eventually. But make sure and tune in. The NASCAR Cup Series will be racing there. From myself and Kim, thanks so much for joining us here on the red carpet. Enjoy the NASCAR Hall of Fame.